The candidates are all going to speak. They each have 10-minute period uninterrupted. There's no engaging of opponents' opinions. They're speaking their opinions and what their solutions are. I'll be providing a card at 3 minutes, 1 minute, and when your time is up. After all of the candidates have their 10-minute speaking time, we'll have the question and answer period. Candidate responses are limited to 1 minute per question.
Our first speaker will be Julie Lewis, running on the Republican ticket for the New York State Assembly, the 126th District. Julie.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me here tonight. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I think it's wonderful that you guys as a group strive to teach your members about the Constitution, that you even test your members and quiz them on the Constitution. That's pretty good. Again, Ted told you who I am. I'm Julie Lewis. I am a Vestal native. I've lived in Broome County all of my life. Been brought up with community values. I'm the hometown girl, if you will, as Dan Reynolds likes to call me. I'm a BU graduate. I'm a mom. And my current jobs, I have 3 jobs. I work 3 jobs to help make ends meet for my family. One of those is a small business owner, Julie Lewis Photography. The other one is county legislator, more recent. And I'm also a substitute teacher for Johnson City Schools. As a county legislator, I'm very proud of the record that I have there. I haven't been there a long time, but in the short time that I've been there, we were able to cut former County Executive Brennan's 2% tax increase down to 0%. We also defeated his $6.5 million borrowing plan, so we didn't have to go into more debt. We increased the county employees' contribution to their health insurance. We eliminated many take-home cars that county officials enjoyed. We cut the pay of the legislature's staff and top county administrators by 5%. And we implemented new reporting systems for county credit cards, just to name a few of the more popular ideas. I believe strongly in the Constitution, so much so that some of you know that I actually carry it around in my purse. This is my little version, and I do refer to it from time to time, so I certainly wouldn't tell you that I have it all memorized by any means. One of the amendments I wanted to talk a little bit about was the 10th Amendment, which basically states that the powers not granted to the federal government nor prohibited to the states by the Constitution are reserved to the states or to the people. One of the reasons that I decided to run is that I feel that the federal and state governments are really taking powers away from the people. And that makes me angry, and I feel like when I get mad enough about something, I have to do something about it. And I've gone to Albany before. I've met with Donna a couple times up there, and with the Joint Landowners Coalition doing some work there. And I watched the Assembly a little bit in action. I watched outside the Assembly chambers once. I remember watching the TV monitor and some of the stuff that they were voting on, and I just thought, what a waste of taxpayer dollars if this legislation is even being voted on. So some of that was motivation for me to decide to run. Some of the things that have been coming out, we hear about downstate in New York City. They're talking about, the soda ban. They just passed the 16-ounce soda ban. You can't have a soda any bigger than 16 ounces now. The scary part about that is a lot of times some of those ideas originate down there. They'll be brought up to the Assembly most likely, and you may see that come right into the New York State Assembly. I hope that doesn't happen. Too much legislation amounts to too much control, again, on things like the salt in our diets, the soda, smoking bans outside now. We're talking about, we don't want people smoking outside either. I'm not a smoker. I can't stand being around it, but I also don't believe that we need to ban smoking all over the place. As a county legislator, I see the mandates the state gives to us, and the state needs to let local government govern and give more freedom to the people. It's really, government is really about people, the power behind the people. And, government has the responsibility not to abuse that. Creating jobs is a big priority. Now, again, I don't view it as government's job to create jobs, but government controls the environment that jobs get created in. And as a small business owner, some of the things that I've actually experienced, now I'm just a sole proprietor, but at the same time, I have to collect sales tax on my business. And essentially, you are a bill collector for the state. It costs you time and money to do this. And the state has just passed within the last couple of years, a fee. So anybody who is anybody that has to collect sales tax now has to pay a $50 fee every year to do this job for the state, which is ridiculous. That's really like a kick in the butt, really. But and another thing that they're doing is, I got an email the other day. Now they want my credit card number, and they want to be able to see the transactions or something about the credit card that I may use, and I use more than one. I use my personal account sometimes to pay some of my bills. So am I supposed to give out my credit card number, both of those? The state has to have those now to check on me on my business. So some of that is just, I believe, is overreaching. It's too far over the top for people. Okay. Something else, cutting fraud and wasteful spending. Many estimates say we could shave 3 to 7% off our spending by fighting fraud and wasteful spending. I think it could be even higher than that. If we look really carefully, I think that we can find a lot more ways to save money for taxpayers. And I think that government is just too bloated in general. It just there's too many programs, there's too many employees, there's too much. And I think that just contributes to ongoing increased costs and fees for people. The state debt is estimated at $220 billion right now. And I believe the budget amount is somewhere around $137 billion annually. That's just too much for both. We need to cap the debt, and we need a plan to pay it down. Earlier tonight, it's probably not on the news yet, or maybe it was, County Executive Preston did her 2011 budget address, and her and her team came up with a 0% tax increase again, which was really phenomenal. And some of the ideas that they talked about were, not replacing people through attrition as they retire, which is one way to help continue or decrease debt and costs. Other ways, they talked about efficiencies in building space, and one in particular, I think they were paying a rental fee for records to be stored somewhere, and instead of doing that, they found another building that the county owned where they can store those records without paying for a rental. I mean, it's just kind of common sense stuff, but you really have to look. You have to look around for these kind of things. You really have to go through every department and every budget to find these kind of savings. And I think that the state, it's so big, they haven't done that yet. Hopefully they're working on that, I don't know, but it's something I would like to work on. So there were other things she talked about. She talked about decreasing the county debt by looking at the capital improvement program. It's kind of something that's been overlooked. I've never heard anybody talk about it, but I thought that would be a great way, something that could be taken to the state level as well. The capital improvement program talks about long-term debt, lots of millions of dollars that we spend on things like infrastructure improvements in the airport and all kinds of big projects like that. And, looking at that and finding better ways to save money, because that's a big chunk of the county budget and it counts for a lot of debt. So those are ways I think we could take some of those ideas to the state. And I know that Cuomo has started moving the state in the right direction. He's just dusted the surface. We need to look in every corner to reduce state spending and debt, and I think we can do better for you. Thank you.
Moving into the question and answer period now, and that will be run by Jim Sacco. Yeah. Julie Lewis has a daughter who's going to be 17 today, on the 17th, Constitution Day. She's going to have to leave a few minutes early, so if you see her get up and walk out, just tell her don't eat too much cake.
Well, to help you celebrate your daughter's birthday, you can get the first question. Julie Lewis, what is your stance on hydrofracking in New York?
I support it. I believe that based on the history of the drilling already being done in the state, that it's been proven to be safe. Obviously, the state, the DEC, will make the ultimate decision on that, and but I'm a supporter of it based on the statistical data, the complaint data. It just doesn't back up some of the claims that it's this huge environmental threat. There are risks with all industry, and there are certainly risks with this process as well, but I believe it can be done relatively safely, and I don't think there's a huge threat to anyone, and I do support it.
Thank you. The next question is for Julie Lewis. Should the U.S. Constitution be adapted to today as a living, breathing document, or with respect to the intent as of the time that it was written?
Wait a minute, I'm running for state office. I think it should be respected for the time that it was written. No document is a living, breathing thing. It has intent when it was written. And every law, judges are supposed to consider original intent when they interpret law. I believe that we should consider the original intent of everything as it was created. Thank you.
This question is for Julie Lewis. What do you think about Agenda 21?
All right, do you guys think I'm running for president here or what? Agenda 21, I am a little familiar with it. It's a program as part of the UN that addresses environmental issues, and I don't really like it. It seems to be overreaching in some ways. The biggest threat that I've seen in it seems to be this phrase about property rights, and that there's an issue over sort of a philosophy over people who are landowners are somehow, they're the wealth, they somehow become wealthy because they're landowners, and that becomes a threat to people who don't have land, and that makes for this social injustice theory. I don't think that's a good idea. I think that it's a threat to freedom. It's a threat to capitalism, which is based on you're free to work, do whatever you want for a living, and whatever career you want to do. You're free to purchase land or not purchase land. And if you do, or you do have the opportunity to do that, and I am a landowner, I think it's a blessing. It's an absolute privilege to own your land in this country. And I certainly wouldn't want any UN or any government group telling me that I can't do whatever I want with my land.